Why my ex is still in touch with me? That's the question I'm going to answer today. My name is Alexis. I'm a relationship counselor and my job is to help you get back with your ex. And so if you're still in touch with your ex and you see that the situation is not evolving, that you see that you're struggling to reconnect, maybe your ex is sending mixed signals and it's extremely frustrating. I know, as a matter of fact, because I help a lot of my clients who are still in touch with ex, it's extremely frustrating. I'm going to explain you in this video what you should be doing, the different actions you should take today, and also understand their psychology, why they're still in touch with you, what's going on in their head, what are their expectations of this sort of on and off type of relationship. I'll explain everything after the jingle.
IGetMyExBack.com. Everyone deserves a second chance.
And before we get into the detail and the psychology of your ex and the different actions you should take, I want to remind you that I put together a quiz just for you to know if you have any chance to get back with your ex. Perhaps you're in touch with your ex, but there's actually no chance. Perhaps you're in touch with your ex and you have high probability of getting back together. In this test, we assess whether your relationship is what I call recoverable. And it's very simple. You answer about 20 questions. It takes about 2-3 minutes to complete, and you get a result right away telling you your likelihood of getting back with your ex, but at least you have more clarity and you can sort of adjust your expectation on your situation. So have a look. The link is in the description. You'll see also in the description there are other bonuses and free resources for you to help you get unstuck, because I know it's very difficult to manage post breakup situations, and I know it's frustrating. I know it's hard to manage. So the idea for me is to provide as much value as possible and help you get unstuck and help you either move on or get back with your ex as quickly as possible. So for your ex, it is very easy. It's a very simple comfortable position. Your ex took the decision to leave, but they just want to avoid the consequences of their action. They stay in touch. Okay, so they took the decision. Remember, they took the decision to leave and they maintain the contact. The thing is, you have to understand that there could be two main reasons why your ex want to stay in touch with you. One is they want to be nice. They don't want you to suffer. They see how badly you took their decision. Maybe you had something special with your friends before, and they just want to be nice. They just want to make the breakup easier for you. The second reason, which is a little bit more manipulative, is they want to get that reassurance that they still have you. And it's extremely common. Whether your ex is a guy or a woman, it's really depending, but I think there's a sense of reassurance. I left him or her, and I want to make sure that I still get some sort of influence on that person, right? It's very reassuring, because remember, when someone takes the decision to break up, there's a lot of uncertainty. And so one certainty is that you still have feelings for them, and that's reassuring. So be mindful that if your ex is still in touch with you, that could be because of that. Okay? So be also mindful that it could be conscious and unconscious. Maybe they're staying in touch thinking they are being nice, but unconsciously it's because they just want to get that reassurance. So don't think that your ex is in touch with you because they are a narcissistic person or want to manipulate you. Be aware that it could be conscious or unconscious. And you'll see it doesn't really matter in what we're going to do. It keeps you attached, and that's a problem. My job as a counselor is to help people build up that emotional independence actually, to really build that resilience. Because I know, and I work with my clients on that, either when I do counseling sessions or hypnotherapy sessions, or how we can build that emotional resilience, how we can, in terms of our mindset, you were an entity and someone removed one of your half, right? And so how we can build up that resilience, that emotional stability when the other is gone. But when you're in touch with your ex, you're still attached. And so he or she keeps you on the hook. Yeah, there you're on the hook. And that prevents you from moving on. That prevents you from getting that emotional distance. And it's very confusing because you have this on and off. You have this, he's very nice with me, but at the same time he's dating someone. Or she's in touch with me, but but then she doesn't answer my message for a week. And you want to understand, right? You want to understand their behavior. And when I have people on the phone, very frequently they ask me a lot of questions. Why are they doing this? What's going on in their head? And so on. The problem is, even I can't answer all those questions. I can't answer those questions because it's very hard to predict. But the point is, I don't want to answer those questions because if you want, I think what you have to understand is relationship recovery, healing from a breakup, is about letting go. You have to accept that this relationship is over. You're single and you have to create that distance, create that space. You need a clear gap between your past relationship and your future relationship. Your future relationship could be with your ex, but you need to create a new one. So you need some distance, especially if you feel that the situation is hard for you. If you're in touch with your ex and things are going in the right direction and you're okay with that, then I'm fine. It's okay. That's what I do with my clients because obviously in the recovery stage, there's obviously a stage where you speak with your ex. So it's really about how you feel about the situation. Does it help you or are you stuck? If you're stuck, you need to take some distance. You need to take some distance. Because what you might, the storyline, the narrative that you have in your head right now is this, what I call the staying in touch mirage. I've suffered because my ex broke up with me. They ended our relationship, we had something strong, and I suffered. And so, because it was so hard for me, I want to, get hold of that little piece of us together. So I have the opportunity to be in touch, so I stay in touch, right? Even if it's like 5% of what we had, I really get hold of that, tightly. Because I think if I do this, it's going to reduce my pain, right? Let's say I lost my ex, so I lost 100%. But if I can get hold of that 5% of us together, that will reduce my pain, right? That's the thinking process. And thinking that, and perhaps if I stay in touch with him or her, then I can be friend. And then if I can be friend, I can rebuild and rekindle the intimacy and I can get back with him or her, right? That's the rationale. I can guarantee you, if you do this, you're bound to fail. Because I'll explain you why, but it is exactly the best thing not to get back with your ex. It's the best thing not to move on or heal from a breakup. I'll explain you why. This is what you have to do. You have to take back control because that's what your ex is doing. They're having the control over you. You're on the hook. You're there waiting for them nicely, peacefully, always saying yes to whatever they ask. Regain that control. Feel that sense of empowerment. And you'll see you're going to feel so much better. I've done some videos about no contact and the power of no contact, the power of silence. At the same time on your ex and on yourself. I talked before about emotional independence. It's really about taking some distance. Your brain needs to experience a form of coherence. That's what also I work with my clients when we do our counseling sessions is really pinpoint those incoherence in your brain. How can you be in touch with your ex and not being with your ex? And so your brain is like obviously feeling those fantasies of like, I'm seeing him, therefore I'm going to be with him. It's the relationship, it's the past relationship. But at the same time, when you come back home, you're alone. Well, no. And so you're completely sort of exhausting yourself because of those two narratives playing around. So be coherent. You're single, your ex left you, you are on your own and you don't have to do anything with your ex. I'm not saying you should do that forever. If you want to get back with him at some stage, you have to reconnect. But the problem is when you're in touch with them, you sort of fuel that hope, you expect. But at the same time, your ex is not expecting anything. Remember, they took the decision to leave, right? If you see that the relationship, the conversation is not getting anywhere, if you see that they're sort of still distant, there's no point entertaining that hope. She took the decision to leave. He took the decision to leave. Remember this. So it's your time to take the decision to create some distance. What it actually means to stay in touch. That's what you have to understand, because I think the opposite love. I'm advising you to stop staying in touch. What does it mean if you stay in touch? You leave your ex in control of the situation. Right, as I discussed, it's really about control. And what it means, the underlying message is, I accept to feed myself from breadcrumbs. That's what you're doing. Your ex left you. Now he's only feeding you with breadcrumbs. You can't have the relationship. You can't have the whole entity. You just have the 5% left. And you think that by feeding yourself with this, it's okay. No, it's not okay. It's not okay. That's why it's so hard for you to be in touch with your ex. Is it what you want? Just be leaving, feeding yourself from breadcrumbs from your ex? No, I guess no. So this is time for you to retain control and understand that you are the only person responsible for your happiness. That's not your ex. And actually, your ex can't provide that to you right now. So realize and understand that actually, what I'm doing is just feeding myself from breadcrumbs. I want to regain control. I want to empower myself. And I'm responsible for my own happiness. I get my shit together. And I don't need to rely on my ex. I don't need my ex for that. Regain control. So take ownership of your life. Take ownership of your decisions. Okay? You're single. In a way, you should be more free than when you were in a relationship. Live your life on your own terms, because that's the problem. When you are in touch with your ex, we sort of flex ourselves. We are complacent. We say yes to things. No. It's on your own terms. It's also time, and I think that's why it's important to take some distance, is to understand your needs, your boundaries. What do you want in a relationship? What you don't want in a relationship? And this, the result of this, might get your ex to react. Might. Will it make him react for sure, him or her for sure? It depends. Usually it does. It may get them to react. But in any case, and that's why it's important, and that's the key message of this video, in any case, it will help you to grow. It will help you to heal. It will help you to, in a way, move on from that pain. Right now, the situation is painful. You're suffering, potentially very anxious, potentially depressed. You have those symptoms, lack of sleep, maybe struggling to eat or overeating or things like that. We have to address this first. And one way to do that is to regain control. And you'll see immediately when you regain control on yourself, when you live on your own terms, this is when you sort of start reclaiming that happiness. Otherwise, you'll stay stuck. I mean, if you're watching this video, it's probably because you feel stuck, because you're in touch with your ex, but it's leading nowhere. They keep you hostage, in kind of an emotional hostage, right? They have you on the hook, but they don't give you what you want. Okay, so it's time to really decide, what do I want? Do you want breadcrumbs or do you want a cake? Okay. And so the danger of allowing, accepting, that's the problem. I really want also to see how you, there's an element of you versus your, in comparison to your ex, but also from yourself, your self-respect in a way. If you let your ex decide, you will end up in a life you don't want. Right? Again, it's really about your own terms. That's the key to happiness, is to live your life on your own terms, to understand the things you won't compromise on, understand the way you can be flexible. I'm pretty sure that being in touch with your ex is the way you are right now is not something you want. Okay? So it's really the time to say, I don't want to be friends. It's not what I want. I want to be with you. I don't want to be friends. I define my boundaries. Don't say it necessarily this way, but this is exactly the rationale you need to have in your head. Because otherwise, as we discussed, you have two narratives. I don't want to be friends, but I'm friends with you. I want to be back with you, but we are not together. And that is driving you crazy, my friend. This is why it's so hard for you to handle the situation. You and only you can take ownership of your happiness, as I discussed before. So it's time for you to regain control. It's time for you to understand that your ex, the situation right now, doesn't provide you anything good. Okay, you have this fantasy that staying in touch will make yourself suffer less. It's actually the opposite that's going to do. So of course there's an element of taking the leap of faith. You find maybe it's kind of hard to do it. You find it's sometimes overwhelming, sometimes it's scary. But trust me, make that leap of faith and you will see each other on the other side. If you have any question, if you want to get in touch with me, there's also a link to book a free call to discuss if you're about to take the leap and you're not really sure and you want to be 100% sure whether you should get into no contact with your ex, or if you're actually in touch with your ex and things are, you know that there's something that you can sort of deblock within him or her in terms of the conversation. Let me know. I'd be more than happy to help you. Don't hesitate also to like the video. It does help me a lot if you want to support or subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.
igetmyexback.com. Everyone deserves a second chance.